Hello friends, welcome to this video. This video is on the task of explanatory data analysis on dataset terrorism from for the data science internship offered by Let's Grow More. The dataset link is provided in the video as well as in the notebook as well. You can check out from here. So let's get started without wasting any time. So first of all, we are importing the necessary libraries. As you can see, we are importing pandas, numpy, matplotlib, seaborn, and warnings. So first of all, we will read the data set and create the data frame. df.pd read csv global terrorism.csv and encoding in Latin. So we are printing the data frame dot head. So this is the head of the data frame along with the rows and the columns. You can see 5 rows and 135 columns are present in this data set. So and here we are performing df.info for the information about the data set. So its class is panda.core.frame.data frame. Its range indexes entries are 1,81,691 from 0, and the columns number are 135 entries. As you already saw here, 135 columns. So this is the basic data, and the memory size is 187 MB. And here are the columns values, the 135 columns if I am not wrong. All the values are given here. The 135, all the 135 values are given here. And we are renaming few of the columns as I year to year, I month to month, I day to day, such as. And after that we are renaming it as df. We are changing the data frame with those replacing those I year, I month from year month, and we are printing the head out. We are just selecting out the specific number of columns that we require for the program, such as we are just taking out the year, month, and those motive you open and discarding all the rest of the columns. As you can see, we have 135 columns, and now we have only these few columns, only 18 columns, if I am not wrong. So yeah, here is the head of the column, as you can see, and you can see the number of columns has greatly reduced. So here is the data of shape. Yeah, this is 18 columns and 1,81,691 entries are there in the data set. So we are checking if there is any null values in the data set. So yeah, there are values in states, as you can see in the values. There are many null values. After that, we are what we are doing, data frame dot wound, we are filling those null values with 0 in the wound value, in the wound columns and the kill columns. We are filling it with 0. After that, we are creating a column with casualties which will merge the values of kill and wound. That is, you can see it is concatenating or it is adding up the values of kills and wounds. After that, we are printing the info of the data set. After those all those pre-processing tasks, we are printing the data set, and you can see there are no null objects. As you can see, there are no null objects in any of the columns. So we have rectified the nan values. After that, we are describing the data. As you can see here, the nan values are zeroed out. See, it are filtered with zeros. After that, we are printing the now we are getting in the data visualization part, in the explanatory part. So first of all, what we are doing is we are counting the number of attacks each year against attacks in years. For the number of attacks in per year according in graph with the number of years. As you can see, at first it was low, then it got up, and then it is reduced slightly in the late 2000s, but after that it steadily grew up. As you can see, these are the command lines. You can go through it in the notebook. Here are the details. It is says explanatory pld.figure.bar plot is bar plotting the graph, and all those x level, what are the x level, what are the y level, what is the title of the graph, all these details are given. This is the command. So after that, we are what we are printing graph is number of attacks against the terrorist activities in regions. Means the activity and the number of attacks, where the attacks have occurred most against the number of attacks. So here is the command line of it. You can see df.year. We are just selecting out the year and region because we need those only for our graph, next graph. So here, as you can see, this brown graph. This brown graph is Middle East and North America, Africa, where the attacks have been most frequent, followed by this deep yellowish color, which is the South Asian part, where Iraq, Iran, and those areas the terrorist activities are also very high. After that, we are counting out the number of attacks in the top 10 countries. So here is the list of the top 10 countries. As you can see, Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan lead the table, followed by India, Colombia, and other nations as well. So the number of attacks is high in Iraq, Pakistan, and all those countries. As you can, and also here is the top active groups in the lists, which is Taliban, Islamic State of Iran, and Levant ISIL, and Shining Path. These are the, according to the records, these have the highest, have or once had the highest activities. Next, we are plotting the top countries affected in these terrorist attacks, and the number of affected counts, number of affected, who are affected with it. This is the command for it, dot subplot figure size, and this is the bar plotting. We are using the bar plotting, and we are only taking out the countries. And this is palette is yellow. This is the color schema that we are using for this bar. This brown to this yellow. This is the color schema name, and the number of countries, number of counts. As you can see here, the Iraq has the highest number, then followed by Pakistan, then Afghanistan, then India. According to the list of the countries, you can see this is also similar. As you saw here, this is below the graph. This graph below also follows a similar pattern. See the number of the name of the nations and all. After that, what we are explaining is the people died in attack according respect to the year. So this is the command line. We are taking out the data year and kill, because those are the two columns that we need for this specific graph, and we're plotting it in the bar graph, and those are the parameters. People died in the attack. We are giving the title and font size. This is the Y level, number of killed people, and the X level, years, and all those commands. So as you can see, the attacks in early 2000s were pretty low, not that low, but it was pretty low. But it grew very highly in recent years, and the number of attacks is most in 2014, followed by 2015 and 16. Means the attacks number have grown pretty much in the recent years as compared to 10 years before. So now what we are calculating is the number of affected cities with most attacks. The cities where attacks have been more prominent, means the highly affected endangered cities. This is the command. You can see only we need the city, and we will ascend it according to the number of attacks. Number of attacks we are X level, Y level, and this title you can see it is self-explanatory. As you can see, unknown means the cities which haven't been recognized where or the attacks have been confirmed. So we can safely assume that Baghdad has the largest number of attacks, followed by Karachi and Lima. Means Baghdad in Afghanistan has had the highest attacks by any terrorist groups. Then the name of the attack type, the type of the attacks which has been more frequent, and the number of the attacks. As you can see, these are the basic commands which are pretty similar from what we have previous. This color schema is Magneta, this pink color, and the name of the graph, X level, Y level are given here. You can see this bombing, explosion, armed assault. Means bombing has been the most used type of attacks. You can see, and the armed assault has been the most attack used is bombing, followed by armed assault and assassination, hostage. As you can see, these are the types of attacks used by the terrorist groups, and the number of people killed in these types of attacks are in armed assaults is slightly higher than bombing. This armed assault and bombing are the main ways the terrorist groups use to kill people and to whatever success their motive, if they have any, I don't know. So here is the, you can see the command line. Here it is given, the color schema is dark, red, blue, and all those similar type of commands as we are using till now. The next we are seeing the number of people wounded wounded in the number of people wounded in the types of particular attacks. In this case, number of people wounded in bombing explosion is much higher than any of the other types. And secondly, it follows by the armed assault. So bombing is the most effective way that terrorists are using currently. And we can see the attacks per year, on which type of targets the attacks have been done. The private property and the citizens have been targeted mostly, as you can see here. They have been targeted mostly, then followed by military. The terrorists are attacking the military forces of the countries, followed by police, government. So these are the target types. In the recent years, the similar command pattern is used. Just this target type is coming here because we only want those, and the name of the graph and the x and y labels are changing respectively. After this, you can see top 10 terrorist group attacks. So as we saw before, Taliban has had the largest number of attacks, followed by Islamic State and the Levant and the Shining Path, and followed by other groups as well. So Taliban is the group with the most attacks, and also the groups which has Taliban has most number of attacks, and the group which has killed most number of people. See, we are defining here by killing, number of killing, that is on both group which has most attacks, but this is particularly on which group has killed more. So the Islamic State and Levant, the ISIL, has killed more than Taliban. As you can see here, the number of people killed in those are greater than the number of Taliban, followed by Boko Haram and Shining Path. So these are the values, and you can see here the number of people killed in each country and state, each country by group and kills. Here is the list of this. You can see Islamic State has the largest number of kills, 31,058, followed by Taliban, which has killed almost 29,210, followed by Boko Haram in Nigeria, 16,917, and following are the groups respectively. You can see the name of the countries and the number of people killed. So Iraq, Afghanistan and Nigeria are the greatest affected countries from these terrorist organizations. You can see the number of people killed by terror attack till now. It is such a massive number, 4,11,868. So many people, so this many people have been killed till now. In the armed assault, people, see, as we saw previously, armed assault people have been killed more, followed by the bombing. You can see these are the type of kill from attack type, and these were the people killed, as you can see, followed by hostage kidnapping is also high number of people killed. After that, what we will see is the country where the people has been killed more. Afghanistan is the highest affected country, followed by El Salvador. No, actually Iraq is the most affected country, followed by Afghanistan, Nigeria, Sri Lanka. So this is the table you can see here. So what we conclude from this video is that the country with most number of attacks is Iraq. Iraq and Afghanistan as well. I should put up here Afghanistan also. Means those both are Iraq has the most number of attacks, and the city with the most number of attacks is Baghdad, as we saw. Region with most number of attacks is Middle East and North Africa, and year with most attacks is 2014. Group with most attacks we saw as Taliban. Most kills, the group which has killed most people is Islamic State of Iraq, and the most attack type is the group use is the bombing. So thank you for watching this whole video. I hope you have a great day. Cheers.